All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Up and Moving, which is a physical activity program for the Upper Peninsula. My name is Isaac Wiedig. I'm a graduate student in the Kinesiology and Integrative Physiology department at Michigan Tech. And our goal with Up and Moving is to keep adults in the UP physically active during the pandemic, but also beyond by delivering workouts that you can do virtually from home in the comfort of your living room with minimal equipment here. So for tonight's workout, we are doing a strength and a HIIT focused workout. So we're going to start with a little warm up. We'll get ready for the workout itself. And then we're going to go into, I've got 4 different strength movements we'll work into. So muscle strengthening exercises, we'll do those first. And then at the end, we're going to finish up and kind of burn ourselves out with a little bit of high intensity interval training or HIIT. So we'll do some timed intervals of some different, a little bit more aerobically based activities towards the end. And then a little cool down and we'll wrap it up. So hopefully we'll go about 30-40 minutes here of exercise and then we can get on with our day. So let's go ahead and we'll jump right into our warm up here. I suppose I should prep you for what you're going to need for the workout. I always have a good sturdy chair, something that you can use for balance support as we do some exercises. I have dumbbells that I'm going to use. But again, if you don't have dumbbells at home, you can use cans of soup, jugs of water. You can use detergent cans work, anything with a little bit of weight. And if it's got a handle on it, that's great too. And then I've always got water here too. I shouldn't say I always do. Sometimes I forget it, but water's nice to have with you. We'll be taking plenty of breaks here. All right, so let's jump into our warm up here. I'm going to start off with some big knee hugs. So I'm just going to bring the knee up to my chest. I'm going to grab onto it with my hands, give it a little hug. We'll use this warm up here to get all of the joints moving that we're going to use when we get to our strength exercises. Good. And we can start to add a little bit of a toe raise in there. So bringing that heel up off the floor, getting up on the toes. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and switch movements here. So I'm going to grab my ankle, reach the other hand for the sky, and I'm just going to flip back and forth here. If you can't quite grab that leg, that's okay. Just pick it up and you can alternate. We're just switching back and forth to get a little bit of balance work here at the beginning. Getting on one leg. Start to warm those quads up a little bit. Good. Couple more. We'll switch to a new movement here. Good. All right. We're going to go into Frankenstein kicks. My signature warm-up move. You get it at every workout that I lead. So hands out in front, and then you're going to be kicking your toes up to your fingertips. We're trying to keep the knee fairly straight, just a little bit of bend there. Should feel tight in the back of that leg. And as you're going through these kicks, it'll start to loosen up and you can try to get your toes a little bit higher, a little closer to your fingertips. Starting to think we should get Up and Moving t-shirts made that have, I think, Frankenstein or a zombie on the front doing the Frankenstein kick. Good. All right, we're going to go ahead and switch into the next one. So I'm going to get my feet a little bit wider than shoulder width here. And we're going to do lateral lunges. So I'm going to lean towards one knee, keep that opposite leg nice and straight. I can take those hands, put them on my thigh here. And we're going to get a little stretch on the inside of that leg and the groin. And start to warm up that knee and the quad muscles on the side that we're leaning towards. I'm just going to keep rocking back and forth here. And I can think about getting a little bit deeper as I get warmed up. Good, couple more. Last one. Great. All right, on to another movement. So here we're going to do a little reverse lunge. So I'm going to step back, lunge down a little bit, and then I'm going to twist my body towards my knee that's up. And then I'll come back to the center, and I'm going to alternate legs. So just flipping legs and rotating towards that knee. A little bit of balance required here. And you can start to try to turn a little bit more as you loosen up, and you can get a little deeper in your lunge if you want to. Good. Let's get two more in. Last one. Great. All right, we'll flip it up again. This time I'm going to reach down for my toes. So I'm going to try to hinge at my hips, reach for my toes, get as low as I can, and I'm going to come up, come into a Y and look at the ceiling and extend my back. So down to the toes, up and extend. Down to the toes, up and extend. So I got a little bit of bend in my knees, but not a lot. We're going to start to put a little tension on the hamstrings in the back of your leg. Good, let's get one more of these. Perfect, and we'll switch things up. I'm gonna get a little side-to-side step going here. I'm gonna go into some arm circles forward. I'm starting with. Just making circles with those arms. Now we'll start to warm up the upper body and the shoulders here. We can start to make those circles a little bit bigger. Really trying to stick that chest out when our arms are coming back and pull those shoulder blades together. Good, and then really big circles, as big as you can get them. Great, we'll shake the arms out. I'm gonna keep moving side to side here. We're gonna go into arm swings. So I'm gonna cross the arms up in front of my body, try to reach for opposite sides of the room. Great. Shake those arms out one more time. We'll give them a little break. My shoulders are already starting to burn. We'll go into backward circles here. Or just reversing the direction, whatever you started with, go the opposite way. We can get into nice big circles here. Good. Big circles, awesome. And then we're gonna go right into a jog in place. Jogging in place here, moderate pace to begin with. We'll increase our pace a little bit. We're gonna hang here for about 30 seconds. I'm gonna try to get my toes up off the floor if I can. Good. All right, let's bump it up a little bit. We'll increase that pace a couple miles an hour here. Great job. We've only got one more exercise to wrap up our warm-up after this. Let's bump the pace up another couple miles an hour. Move a little bit faster. Good job. Down to our last 10 seconds here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, last warm-up exercise. We're going into jumping jacks. Can kick a leg out, swing those arms up overhead, or we can throw a hop in there and bring both legs. Heart rate's starting to get a little bit higher now. Good job. Almost through the warm-up. We'll take a little water break in a second here. Last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Warm-up is complete. My upper body feels good, ready to go. Legs are feeling good. Grab a quick sip of water here. And I will run us through what we're going to be doing. Again, we're starting off with our muscle strengthening exercises. So we have 2 lower body exercises, 2 upper body exercises. So we'll work the whole body here. What we're going to do is we're going to take 2 exercises at a time, and we're going to superset those or do them back to back. So first exercise is going to be focused on mainly the quads in the front of your leg. So it's called a little step down exercise, or sort of a split squat. Not exactly sure what you would call it, but you can have your chair or a wall, something for a little bit of stability. And then what you're going to be doing here is reaching your foot out in front like you're trying to go down a stair. You're reaching that heel out and touching it on the floor in front of you. But you can see what's happening on the leg that I'm working is I'm almost going into a little bit of a squat here, and it's putting some tension on that quad. So this back leg is the one that we're really working, and you're just pretending that you're going down steps. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go anywhere between 8 and 20 repetitions with the leg, and then we're gonna go ahead and flip, and we'll do the other leg. Same thing here, just like you're going down the stairs, reaching that heel out in front of you, getting a bend in that knee. You should start feeling it in your quad. So let's go ahead and do our first set here. All right, ready? I'm gonna start in 3, 2, 1, here we go. So see how many reps you can get. If you make it all the way to 20, go ahead and stop there. I'll show you how to make the exercise a little bit harder for our next set. But I'm thinking about taking that heel, reaching it out in front of me, using that quad on this back leg. And I've got my chair here for some stability and balance if you need it. Good. Whew. And once you wrap up with one leg, we can go ahead and flip and go right to that other leg. Camera view here a little bit better. So same thing, I'm reaching that heel out in front like I'm going down a step here. What I want to do is keep my hips nice and level so that I don't have one side, one hip dropping more than the other. I want them to be at the same height. My abs are tight. And I'm controlling myself on the way down, not too fast here. You should start feeling it burn in that back leg. Good. Whew. All right, once you wrap up, we'll go ahead and we're actually going to be using the chair for the next one here too. So we're going to go into an upper body exercise. We're going to go back to those step downs in a moment, but I'll show you our upper body exercise. So what you're going to do is you're going to get into a push-up position. Now you can do this on the wall. You can do this on maybe a countertop. The higher the thing that you're leaning into, the easier it's going to be, and the lower the thing that you're leaning on with your hands, the harder it's going to be. So you can play around if you've got countertops and chairs. Make sure you got a chair that's not going to slide on you. So I start in a push-up position. From here, I'm going to drive my hips back. So push up, and then I drive my hips back till my hips are about 90 degrees. And then from here, I'm going to press off of the chair, or wall, or countertop, whatever you're doing. So it's a great exercise to work the shoulders. It's going to work your triceps. It's just like a push-up, or changing the angle a little bit so that you're pressing overhead as opposed to out in front of you. The push-up position here, and let's go for our 8 to 20 reps. See what you can do. You make it all the way to 20, nice work. If not, that's okay. It's perfect. It means you're probably in the right place. You don't need to make it any harder. I'll show you how to make it harder for those of you that make it to 20 easy on our next set here. And this is a tough exercise. Don't underestimate it. Good. Oh, so you may feel it in your shoulders, maybe in your triceps a little bit. Great. Let's go ahead and take just a quick moment to grab a sip of water. You can shake those arms off. We're going to go right back into these step downs here. I've got my chair for support. Now, if you want to make these harder, if you made it to 20 reps with each leg last set, pretty easy. A couple of things you can do here. You can try to reach your heel further in front of you, which means you're going to get a little bit lower. So the lower you go, the harder it's going to be. The further you reach that heel out in front of you, the harder it's going to be. Another thing you can do is you can get rid of the chair. And then you've got a little bit more balance to it, but it's the same thing. So go ahead and play around with your depth, play around with having a chair. And now you can try to either make it a little easier or a little harder than your last set, depending on how many reps you got. If you did 20, try to make it harder. If you couldn't quite even get to 8, make it a little bit easier. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna start with my right leg. We'll go through a set for each leg here. Again, nice and slow on the way down, good control as I tap that heel out in front of me. My hips are level. I don't have one hip dropping lower than the other. Oh, starting to feel that burn in that quad. Great, nice job. I'm gonna go ahead and flip sides here. I'll give you a front view. You can see these hips are staying nice and level as I reach that foot out in front of me here. Nice and slow. I'm not rushing it. I'm really controlling, tapping that foot out in front of me. And if you start to approach 15, 20 reps and it still feels pretty easy, try to make your last few reps a little bit lower. We'll make it harder. Reach that heel a little further in front. Good. Whew, got a good burn in those legs. Beautiful. All right, we're going to go right back to our push-up variation or our overhead press. And so you can go to the chair again if that worked for you. If you were between 8 and 20 reps and felt like it was burning your shoulders and your triceps, you need to make this harder. You can do the same thing, but you can go right down to the floor. So you start in a push-up position, just like the other variation, hips to 90 degrees, and then we press from here. All right, but go ahead and hang out on the chair or countertop or wall if that worked for you the first time. All right, here we go. Second set of our presses. And let's go. I don't think I'm going to get too many from the floor here. These get tough fast. Woo. Oh man, I only made it to 12. But I'm in my rep range. It was a difficult set, so I'm perfect. That's right where I want to be. All right, let's go ahead and get a sip of water. So we're going to go through both these exercises one more time. So you've got one more set for each one, and then we're going to switch to a couple of new exercises, focus on a couple different muscle groups here. And in between our sets here, we want to recover. We want to be ready to go back to another. We're trying to strength train right now, so you want to be as strong as possible when you go into each set. So make sure you take enough time, catch your breath. Sometimes it helps to keep moving. Try not to walk into your couch like I do. Keep everything moving. It helps recover those muscles. All right, let's go into our last set. So I'm gonna go without the chair, but again, hang on to that if you need that for a little balance support. And I'm gonna try to push my depth a little bit lower and reach my foot a little further out in front of me. It's my last set. I'm gonna make it a little bit harder. So I still wanna keep the tempo under control and our technique there, okay? Ready? 3, 2, 1, here we go. Just going downstairs one leg at a time here. Good control as you're lowering yourself down those stairs, tapping that heel out in front of you. Hips nice and level. Think about keeping your abs tight too. That'll help keep those hips level. Good. Whew. Yeah, that leg is burning now. I did a squat workout earlier today too, so I'm definitely a little pre-fatigued coming into these. Okay, here we go. Switching, going to the other side. Same thing here. I'm gonna see how many reps I can get, but I'm gonna try to push my depth a little bit lower to make them a little harder here. Hips level. These are a very easy exercise to underestimate. These are pretty hard. If you're struggling at home, not getting too deep, that's okay. These are tough. And I think I got one more here. Woo, yeah, burns in the front of the legs. Awesome. So we can officially cross those off the list. Those are done. Now we're gonna go back to our push-up variation here. So if you've gone from the floor to the chair and that variation worked out for you, great. You landed between 8 and 20 reps and you felt the muscle was fatigued. It's proper intensity, good. If not, I'll show you one way to make this even a little bit harder if you need to progress it a little more. So this way, you're gonna put your feet on the chair. It's a little bit of a circus act here. Same thing, I start in a push-up position, but then I get my hips at 90 and then I press from here. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll do our set here, 8 to 20 reps. Last set of these. Now let's begin. Woo. I think I've only got 10 in the tank on that one. It's a hard variation when you get those feet elevated. Good. Give everybody a moment here to finish up your set. Ooh, shoulders a little fatigued. I feel it in my triceps. So let's go ahead. We'll take a little break. Grab some water. I'm going to take a little active break here. I'm going to keep moving, pace myself back and forth. I got to walk off those split squats there. Whew. Okay. All right, while you're taking your last few breaths here and sips of water, I'll show you our next couple of exercises. So we're going to use a handy dandy chair again. And now we're going to go into, we did one leg exercise where we're really focused on the front of the legs here. Now we're going to do one where we're focusing more on the hamstrings and the glutes. So we'll kind of flip sides of the legs. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. I'll show you both. First is one, you can use a chair. What you're going to do is lean on the chair so that just below your shoulder blades is in contact with the chair. Got my feet out in front of me, and then I'm coming into a hip thrust like so. So I'm coming from a flexed hip here to then I'm straightening my hip so I have a straight line from the knee all the way up to the shoulder, and I'm squeezing my butt at the top and pushing through my heels, driving through those heels. And then we'll just repeat. All right, now if you don't have a chair, or that's a little awkward for you to get set up in that position, you can do the same thing from the floor. Starting here, And then again, driving up onto those heels and squeezing your butt, coming into a position where you got a straight line from your knee to your shoulder, right? And we'll just repeat here. All right, so those are our 2 hip thrust variations. So again, our goal, 8 to 20 reps. Let's see what we can do here. I'm gonna start from the chair. Lower down, just below the shoulder blades. And here we go. Really think about pushing through your heels. At the top of this exercise, your knee should be at about 90 degrees. I'm really focusing on squeezing my butt at the top and hinging at the hip. So my spine should more or less kind of stay in a pretty neutral position, and I'm just moving at that hip. And they look really easy, but as I'm approaching 20 here, I'm already feeling a burn in my butt muscles and in my hamstrings a little bit. Whew, okay. Done. All right. While everybody's finishing up, show you our next exercise. My chair's really tilty here today. One of the legs must have got longer than the others. All right. Next exercise is going to be what's called a face pull. So what you're going to be doing is, I've got some weights. I'm going to show you how to do it without weights though, but you'll have weights in your hand. Show you the seated variation first. So you sit, you're going to lean forward, and then from that lean forward position, you're going to pull your hands up so that your hands are at basically the sides of your head like this. You're making a W with those arms. It kind of looks like this. And it's almost like you're pulling something to your face is the motion that we're trying to mimic, but you're going to have weights in your hand and be leaned over. So I'll show you what it looks like with some weights. I'm seated, I get bent over, and then from here, I pull up to the sides of my head. So it looks like this W when I'm at the bottom. I'm going to try to stay leaned over here. And that's our face pull. So what you're really going to want to do is pull your shoulder blades together and then drive your hands up and keep those palms facing the floor. So shoulder blades pulled together and then bring the hands. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do a set here. Little pause at the top if you can get one. Again, we're shooting for 8 to 20 reps, whatever you can get here. Whew. Again, another one of those exercises that looks easy, but they're deceiving. They get hard. Even on just a couple cans of soup, that can be challenging. Good. So we got a set of those out of the way. Take a moment, grab a quick drink of water here. We're going to cycle right back through those again. So we'll go back to hip thrusts in just a moment. Ooh, all right. So I'm going to show you how to make these a little bit harder. If you made it to 20 reps, it felt pretty easy. You didn't feel any burn in your glutes or in your hamstrings. What you can do is grab a weight. It could be just a backpack too, and you're going to sit it on your hips while we do this. So I'm going to show you with a dumbbell, but again, it could be anything with weight. You could put a bag of rice on your hips. I'm going to set this weight on my hips. I'm going to lower myself into position. And again, you can do the same thing, but with your back on the floor instead of being on a chair. And then from here, now I have a little extra weight, and I'm going to drive the hips up, squeeze my butt until I get to this straight line. All right, here we go. Set number 2, a hip thrust. Let's do it. Going for 8 to 20 reps. I like to tuck my chin on my chest when I do these too. Helps kind of keep your spine in the right posture so that you're not doing this, where it's just your spine moving. You're actually moving at your hips What you want is the distance between your belly button and your sternum should stay the same. If that distance is changing as you're doing this exercise, it means you're moving in your back and less in your hip. And we want it to come from the hip. Trying to strengthen those glutes and those hamstrings. Whew, that burns. Good, all done. I'm gonna lower down. Perfect, and when we finish that up, we can go back into face pulls. All right, so a couple things you can do here with the face pulls. You can grab a heavier weight. If whatever you used before, a can of soup or whatever, felt great, stay there. If you have a heavier dumbbell you can step up to, you can go ahead and grab that if you want to. But you can do a heavier weight and then also show you a freestanding version. So you can do it without sitting, all right? But go ahead and do the sitting variation if you like that the first time. So same exercise, but I'm just gonna do it from a standing position where I hinge at my hips, I get in the same bent position, and then I'm pulling these dumbbells up to my face, just to the sides of my head like this. And I'm making that W with my arms. So here we go, set number 2. I like to get a little hold at the top. That's the hardest part of the exercise, so I'm gonna get there and hold it for a second. Whew, good. Set those dumbbells down. Take a little second here to recover. Get some water. And we have one more time that we're gonna go through those 2 exercises and then our strength work is done. And then we're just gonna finish with a few intervals of some high intensity exercises. We'll just go for time on those. So we're nearing the end. Okay. Let's go ahead, we'll jump back into our hip thrusts here. All right. So if you're at home and you're wondering, oh boy, how can I make these a little bit harder? I'm just not feeling it. It's too easy of an exercise. I'll show you one more way to make it harder. But again, if it's been hard enough, stay with the variation you were using before. But this is one more way you can make it a little bit more challenging if you're at home and you need something a little more. So the only difference we're gonna make here, I still have my dumbbell, but we're gonna do one leg at a time. So same exercise, but one leg's gonna come off the floor and I'm just gonna use one at a time, all right? So obviously you're gonna have to do a set for each leg. So do that at home if you have to. I'm gonna stick with the 2-leg method for now for time, but give that a try if you need to make it harder. All right, here we go. Going for 8 to 20. Driving through my heels, pushing my hips to the ceiling, squeezing my glutes at the top. Good. Again, I like to tuck my chin on my chest, almost look at the wall that's out in front of me. Knees should be at about 90 degrees when you get to the top of this exercise. Starting to burn. I think I got one more here. Whew. Oh, tricky. Okay. All right, last strength exercise. So I'm gonna stick with the standing version of these, of the face pulls. If you wanna stay seated, you can. I'm gonna stick with the same weight because I've been doing about 12 reps here and it's pretty challenging. I don't need to go any heavier. My sets are hard enough between 8 and 12 reps, so I'm gonna hang out. You can go a little bit lighter or go a little heavier at home if you have to. All right, here we go. Hinge at the hips, I get in this bent position, and I'm into my face pulls. About pulling those shoulder blades back together as you start lifting those dumbbells up. Whew, good. You did it. We are through the strength work. So good full body strength circuit there. We got a little upper body stuff, some pulling, some pushing. We got our quads, our hamstrings. And we got one thing to finish up with here. We've got our high intensity interval circuits. So here's the plan here. Grab water, recover, catch your breath. We're gonna do timed intervals. All right, I have 4 exercises. We're gonna do each exercise for 30 seconds. All right, so we're gonna go 30 seconds on. We'll take 30 seconds off, and then we're gonna switch and do 30 seconds of the next exercise. So I'll guide us through as we go. But I'm gonna go through the exercises while we're recovering from the strength stuff so that when we get into it, you know what we're going to. First exercise, it's gonna be mountain climbers. So you can do this on a chair. You can also lean against the wall and do this. And then you can also go down to the floor and do this. But the exercise is the same. You're going to be bringing your knee up to your chest and alternating legs. Right? Now you can control your pace here and go as fast as you want. But remember, we only have 30 seconds of this. So the idea is that you should be able to maybe push your intensity, go a little bit harder and a little faster, and then you get 30-second break. So that's our first exercise, mountain climber. Second is a burpee. So we can do this just standing, reach for your toes, jump for the ceiling, reach for your toes, jump for the ceiling. We can do a chair. Same thing here. You can either step back and step forward and then hop, or you can hop out like so. A couple of variations there, or you can do the same thing but on the floor, do a full burpee. Next is jumping jacks. So we've got an easier variation here. It's kind of low impact, so you're not jumping on your knees. Or we've got a full one with the hop. Last exercise is called a Heisman step. So for this one, you're going to be stepping 2 feet in the middle, bringing your knee. So step, step, bring your knee, step, step, bring your knee, step, step, bring your knee. It's looking like this. They call it the Heisman because this is what the Heisman Trophy looks like for the MVP of college football. All right, so those are our 4 exercises. So we'll go 30 on, 30 off. I'll let you know what the exercises are as we're going. I'll let you know where our time is. So we're starting with mountain climbers. We're ready. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 30 seconds of mountain climbers. I'm going to try to push my pace here. But again, feel free at home to moderate your pace, do what you're comfortable with. Great, we're down to 10 seconds left. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Beautiful. 30-second break. So you can kind of get the hang of how long our work and our rest intervals are here, so you can push yourself in the future if you think you can. I'm going to do like an active rest. I like to keep myself moving when I'm in between intervals here. I may not feel that way when we get towards the end, but I'm still moving. All right, so we have burpees starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Toes and ceiling. Job, and we're down to our last 15 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the chair variation. And we're down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Good. Okay, 30-second break. Catch your breath. I'm going to keep moving. You can walk around your living room if you want to. Side step in place. We have jumping jacks coming up next. Good job. We are going to start here in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Jumping jacks for 30 seconds. Again, remember, it's only 30. You can push it a little harder than you normally would. We've got breaks coming. Good. 15 seconds left. I'm going to go into a hop here. Try to push my pace. We're at 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, 30-second break. We have one more exercise, and then we're going to go to a water break. So hang in there for one more interval. Keep yourself moving if you can. All right, so we have that Heisman step coming up here. So just a quick recap. Step, step, bring the knee. Step, step, bring the knee. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Step, step, bring the knee. Step, step, bring the knee. Good, and we can kind of increase that pace once you get the rhythm down. Down to our last 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1, time. Good. All right, let's go ahead. Grab a little drink here. All right, so plan is we're going to go through that one more time. Same thing. 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Now that you know how it feels, maybe you eased into the first circuit. This one, you can push yourself a little harder if you want to, or ease back a little bit during the intervals. Got that same 30-second break coming in between. Okay. I feel ready to go. This is our last 3 minutes of work here. Or pardon me, it's technically 2 minutes of work. We're doing 30-second intervals. So 2 minutes of work left and we're finished. All right, so we're starting with mountain climbers. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Bring those knees up to your chest. Keep your abs nice and tight here. Don't let your hips sag to the floor too much. 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, take a breather. Got 30 seconds. Our next exercise is burpees. Coming up in 10 seconds here. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. You don't even have to leave the floor for these two. If it hurts your knees to jump, you can just go to and do a heel raise. And I'm going to flip over. We got our last 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. All right, 30-second break. Almost there, guys. We got a 1 minute left to work. So we're into jumping jacks next. 30 seconds has never gone by so fast in my life. Okay. All right, ready? 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Jumping jacks. So try to push it here. We're almost finished up. Good. Last 15 seconds. Go ahead and increase that pace if you feel like you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Good. 30-second break, and we got one more exercise. I got the Heisman steps coming up. This chair out of the way. All right, last 30 seconds. We are going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So step, step in the middle, bring your knee, step, step, bring your knee. And we can get that pace increased as we get used to the rhythm here. Good, we got 10 seconds left. I'm going to try to really speed it up here. And 3, 2, 1, time. All right. Ooh, we did it. Take some time to recover, grab a drink. We made it through the workout. We'll do a couple of cool down stretches here. We'll let our heart rate come down. Got a good sweat going. Whew. All right. Boy, I'm not sure what was more fun there, the strength exercises or the HIIT intervals at the end. I'm more of a strength guy personally. I enjoy strength training. Okay, so let's go ahead into a couple of cool down stretches here. First one, we'll just grab onto that ankle and we'll stretch out our quad. I've got the chair here for a little support. If you can't quite grab your ankle, you can grab just the end of your shoe, the heel of your shoe. That works. And we'll just hold that for a second here. If you want to, you can try to ditch the chair too and get a little bit of balance work while we're at it. You feel like overachieving today. But I would say everybody earned their gold star for making it to the end of this. So don't feel bad about using the chair. Good, let's go ahead, we'll switch sides. Go to the other leg, we'll pull that other heel back. Good deep exhales here. Try to relax that muscle that you're stretching every time you breathe out. Good. All right, we're going to do a little stretch here for the shoulders and the back in our midsection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to point my palms out, then I'm going to interlace my fingers here. I'm going to come up overhead with it, and then I'm going to lean towards the side. But I'm going to try to stretch through the side of my back here, and then through my side of my torso. You can try to lean a little more as you loosen up here, get a little deeper stretch. Try to almost take that hand that's on top and reach for the wall over there with it. You'll feel that stretch a little deeper. Then I'm gonna go ahead and flip to the opposite direction now. Kind of trying to take this hand and almost reach out for this wall over here, but I've got my hands interlaced. Good. Going to one more stretch here. So we'll get the hamstrings a little bit. Give those some attention. So I'm gonna do these seated. If you want to just have a seat on the floor, you can do that too, but I like to do these from a chair. All I'm gonna do is put one leg, try to get my leg in the frame here. I'm gonna stick one leg out straight, heel on the floor. This other one can be bent, and I'm just gonna reach for that toe. I can even just go with one hand. If I got my right leg, I can reach with my right hand. Should feel that stretch in the back of your leg there. I'm just kind of sitting at the edge of my chair. Make sure your chair is not going to move on you. Just reach as far as you can till it's just a little uncomfortable, but not painful. Good. Let's go ahead. We'll flip sides. We'll get that other leg. So other leg straight. Take that left hand. I'm going to reach down for that foot. And really try to mostly hinge at my hip here as opposed to leaning my back forward. A little bit of both is okay, but you definitely want to make sure you get the hip in there, because that's where you'll really feel the stretch in the back of your leg. Oof, okay, good. I know my heart rate has come down. It was a good cool down there. Felt good. Thank you for joining me for the workout today, and I hope that everybody at home enjoyed it. We do have one announcement. Oh yeah, we have our lunchtime workout on every Wednesday at noon and also at 12:30. So there are 2 sessions that you can join. And those are really cool workouts because you can do them right at your desk, your office, wherever you're stuck at working for the day, or if you just feel like you need, a group to get up with and move at lunchtime, wherever you're at. It's a really light workout. You don't need clothes or any equipment. It's a lot of fun. So go ahead and think about joining those again Wednesday at noon and also at 12:30. So there's 2 sessions. You don't have to join both. You can come to either or. And then we also have a stretching video that we just put out on our website, upandmoving.org. 7 stretches that can kind of help you break up prolonged sitting time. So again, if you're somebody who's stuck at a desk in the office most of the day, these are some stretches that you can do to kind of stand up from your desk throughout the day a few times, move your body a little bit, may help you feel a little bit better after sitting all day long. But go ahead and check those things out, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Our next live workout is Thursday morning at 9:30 for aerobic, agility, and balance. All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care.